All right, is it racist AI? Is an algorithm keeping black people from renting homes in Jacksonville? A class action lawsuit filed on behalf of rental applicants claim it is, and those who have been denied rental homes blame JWB, a major landlord in Duval County.
The lawsuit was first filed in March. It's making its way through the court, and the News4Jax I-Team has been following it as we've been digging deeper into affordable housing issues in Northeast Florida. I-Team investigator Ann Maxwell is taking a look at how computer software is being used to screen potential renters and why some say Ann is perpetuating race-based discrimination here in our area.
Yeah, Stacey, Kent, 4 people in the lawsuit say JWB denied their rental applications because of the existence of an eviction filing against them, even though they were filed in error or, in one case, filed against a different person with a similar name. The plaintiffs allege it's a policy that disproportionately affects rental applicants who are black. JWB vehemently disagrees.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
To UNF professor and Jacksonville housing researcher David Jaffe, a lawsuit against JWB claiming racial discrimination is a sign of a deeper problem in the local housing market.
There's not one bad apple, okay? The system is what people have to look at, and the system is really rotten.
He argues the haves are profiting at the expense of the have-nots, with big landowners consolidating home ownership, resulting in higher housing costs and tenants being treated as line items in investment portfolios, opening the door for potential discrimination.
They're basically processing more applications, so they're looking for ways to simplify the process.
Like many landlords, JWB outsources the screening of rental applicants using the company Safe Rent Solutions, which uses, quote, advanced technology models to create a score to determine how likely a potential tenant is to cause a loss to the landlord, compiling data on applicants' credit and rental history. It's a tool that would certainly seem to be helpful if you have more than 5,000 rental properties like JWB does. A lawsuit filed by Jacksonville Area Legal Aid earlier this year alleges that the screening platform's algorithm flags rental applicants' eviction filings, even if they were made in error and ordered sealed by the court. The suit claims JWB denied 4 plaintiffs housing because of the existence of eviction filings against them, even though they had proof they were made in error and dropped. In court documents, JWB denies the plaintiffs were denied housing because of the eviction filings and argued they have, quote, substantial legitimate and non-discriminatory reasons for their leasing policies. The plaintiffs allege their experiences show JWB's screening criteria discriminates against black rental applicants in violation of the Fair Housing Act. Jacksonville attorney Christian Reeves, who is not affiliated with the case, explains.
So for the Fair Housing Act, you cannot discriminate based on race, religion, or sex, or familial relationship or anything of that nature. Obviously, this case is specifically about race.
The suit says JWB's alleged policy of denying applications based on the existence of an eviction filing disproportionately affects applicants who are black because, number one, the number of eviction filings in Duval County and nationwide are against a disproportionate number of black renters. And number two, because most of JWB's properties are located in census tracts that are predominantly black or contain a higher percentage of black residents than Duval County as a whole.
JWB can basically argue that they use a combination of factors to determine whether someone should be denied or approved.
My understanding is the plaintiffs are saying, you can't just depend on them. Like, you need to screen the screening.
Right. So if they're using some type of algorithm to screen potential renters and these evictions are coming up that they are incorrect or erroneous, I think they definitely need to go back and see why this is happening, and they're not going the extra step, because even when these individuals have paperwork to prove that they did not get an eviction or that it was a mistake, they are still being denied. And I think that is the biggest problem.
In a statement to News4Jax, the Consumer Data Industry Association, which is a trade group for companies that collect data on consumer credit and background checks, said, quote, tenants expect and demand safe places to live and work. CDIA members help provide safety and security through tenant screening services. Ensuring availability of accurate tenant history data is of paramount importance for the good of housing stability and resident safety. Jaffe questions how a computer model alone, without a human being evaluating the background information, can predict if somebody will be a good tenant.
I don't think it's accurate at all. And I don't think the decisions about giving people access to shelter should be determined by an algorithm.
Why not?
It's inhuman.
He says this lawsuit is a cautionary tale about artificial intelligence and algorithms and how they can be new vehicles for old types of discrimination. SafeRent has not responded to our request for comment. We also reached out to JWB. They said because of the litigation, they can't comment other than to say they vehemently deny any allegations of discrimination. Among the things the plaintiffs are seeking are refunds for their application fees, which range from $75 to $150. They are also asking for a jury trial, but for now, the court has ordered the two parties first to try to find common ground and mediation.
So, Anne, we heard the professor say this could be just the tip of the iceberg. Is he indicating how big of a problem this might be?
Well, we found one report from 2019. It says about 90% of landlords use tenant screening services. That's from the National Consumer Law Center. They also say there have been many lawsuits against screening companies alleging inaccurate results that have led to millions of dollars in civil penalties and in relief to the people who were harmed.
And it seems like more to come here as we see what happens in this case and what really is proven versus allegations. Ann Maxwell, thank you.
Complicated issue. Yeah.
The Weather Authority. Pinpoint precision with Exact Track 4D. Dissecting storms, exposing dangerous conditions miles above the surface.
Breeze continues to blow, although we're seeing less showers than we did this time last night. We had them stacked up over the Atlantic and across our inland areas, and what has brushed the beaches continues to evaporate, fade away, rain out here pretty quickly. 77 degrees, still have a bit more haze than we do the sun as it's poking through. As we approach sunset, we'll start to see the sun settling down. The clouds are going to remain, then slowly start to part ways here for this evening. Here's the tropical outlook. Come on back here. As we were watching that system, this was the former Tammy. It has developed some frontal characteristics, which means it's no longer tropical, post-tropical now. But the spaghetti plots still tell a story, coming up just shy of Bermuda, turning around the other direction, but there's still a 30% chance that this could come back again. Yeah, it'd still be Tammy.